Welcome back to the Personal Injury Law Show, viewers. It's that time of the show we got Kathy's mailbag. Good evening, Kathy.
Good evening, Tony, Nunzio.
Kathy, how are you?
Good evening, viewers.
Have you got a view about cups
I do.
and glasses?
I've been waiting for my opportunity, Tony, because I have to side with Nunzio on this.
Sides with me, Tony.
I do, and I will actually justify my reasoning. I think that if, in some aspects of society, for example, when it's bigger venues or entertainment venues such as the MCG or sporting grounds where they've got plastic cups, I commend that. I think that it's safe on every level. But if I'm going to a bar and I'm paying $20 for a cocktail, I do not want it served in a plastic cup.
And by the time you've had your third or fourth cocktail, you wouldn't know what it tastes like anymore.
Oh, Tony, we don't drink to get drunk. We drink amicably. But I will take Nunz's view on that.
I just think that a lot of the cases that I've seen over the years are people that have been slashed or smacked over the head with a bottle, and they're very, very nasty injuries. And they're lifelong injuries, permanent.
Look, and also, the one thing I will say, Tony, is that obviously just with glass on the ground in bars and clubs, that also creates a lot of,
problems.
Probable injuries. So that's one aspect as to why they probably aren't as...
But we as patrons have to take
And if you
security.
really want to enjoy and want to make sure that the taste buds get the full taste of these Grangers and Moulton Chandons, just sit down at a table at a restaurant and drink it.
Or just do it at
I don't know
home.
where he's made up all this.
I don't know either. I mean,
Grange
Tony's making us sound like alcoholics. But the thing is, I think that, some pubs warrant plastic cups, and especially with the younger generation when they're starting out drinking. But also, if someone's going to go to that point of glassing people, then, counselling might also be appropriate
One
too.
day, when you two have got kids of your own, you'll understand where I'm coming from.
All right, well, we'll catch up on later episodes in about 5 years' time.
Series 18.
Okay, well, we've got to move on to the questions for tonight. DPI show. On a Saturday in August at about 2 p.m, I attended an open for inspection at a local property which is for sale. A young lady from an office was in the property. I entered via the long, narrow hallway. At the kitchen end of this hallway, there is one step down. This step is almost invisible because of the shiny floor materials that merge together. The material is also very slippery. I did not notice this step and sustained a heavy fall to the ground. Another member of the public assisted me to get up. The young lady from the real estate sales office was aware that I fell, yet made no comment nor offered to assist me. I subsequently visited the doctor as my ankles, knee and hip were swollen and very painful. I had difficulty in walking and could not attend my work. Do you think I have any rights against the real estate company or the owners? And this is from Danny in Preston. Nuns, you're the expert in this field. I mean, it's not great when you don't see something and you slip and fall, and I'm not very impressed that someone can't assist in helping, but what's your comment on this?
Look, it's disappointing that obviously the young lady didn't assist afterwards, but that's not a reason for a case. But I do think if there is a case here, subject to the extent of the injury, that it might most likely be against the homeowner, because that's their premises and they've created that illusion of being no step in. That's why she fell. So, but saying that though, we need to find out what the extent of her injuries are. Do you agree with that, Tony?
Yeah, for sure. It looks liability might be okay because the step is invisible, because the shiny floor means that they merge together. So negligence sounds arguable, and if you want to get pain and suffering, you need more than 5%.
Yeah, look, it's early days by the looks of it, so keep getting the treatment. If it's something that's going to be permanent and be over the 5% threshold, then there arguably is a good case there.
Well, you've got ankles and knee and hips, so generally they can be quite nasty injuries. So you just have to get treatment and see where it takes you.
Do you think there's any liability against the real estate company? I can't see much.
It's possible, but it's more likely than not that it's against the occupier, which is a homeowner. Yeah.
Okay, well, we hope that's helped you, Danny, and also seek legal advice in the future if you need to. Second question tonight. It's DRPI show. Recently, I went into a major supermarket shopping centre to do some late night grocery shopping. As usual, there were boxes and cartons spread out everywhere up and down the aisle, and people were restacking the shelves for the next day. About halfway through shopping, I turned into a new aisle and walked into a carton which had tins of something in it. I was walking fast and I ended up cutting open my leg pretty badly. It meant I couldn't go to work the next day. I ended up having to get stitches on the cut. Worst of all, it's meant that I can't ride my bike until it heals, which is how I normally get to and from work. Do you think I have a claim against the supermarket? And this is from John in Port Melbourne. Nuns, I'm going to pass this again to you. Supermarket and injuries. What do you think to support John here?
Oh, look, the supermarket is, I think, has some explanation or liability on their behalf because they've created that, I suppose, that risk to the viewer. So, look, I think that the supermarket might have some part to play in this, Tony. What do you think?
Look, it's very similar sort of facts to the last one in the sense that there's an arguable case in liability again, and then you've got to work out whether this scar is going to meet the threshold of more than 5%. And scarring is usually doesn't assess well unless it's really, really nasty, and depends on which part of the body it's on too, I'd imagine. But look, you'll get medical treatment, I guess, medical and like expenses and time off work, but whether you get the 5% is another. Depends.
Time will tell. It might have a psychological effect too. Scarring can do that to you. So, time will tell, I think, with this one.
Okay.
Look, everything will depend on, healing, whether the healing process helps or not. Yeah.
And depending on what further treatment needs
That's
to be
exactly
done,
right.
and things like that. But hopefully you've also had an incident report with the supermarket, John, as that always assists. And,
It's a wait and see situation, I think. Yeah.
Okay, well, we hope that's helped you, John. Moving on to our next questions from Joanne, Upper Ferntree Gully. Is that near Puffenbilly, Tony?
No, Belgrave is.
Belgrave is, okay, sorry.
Ferntree Gully is probably close.
But our viewer, Joanne, is actually from Belgrave. She writes, I had a fall in 2008 in the shopping strip in Belgrave on the steps outside one of the shops. I did not make any claim at the time. However, as a result of the fall, I have now got a tear in my tendon on my right ankle and need surgery. I've been advised that this would have been from the fall. I do not play any type of sport, only light exercise, like walking since my injury. The swelling in my ankle has never reduced. I would appreciate if you could let me know my options. Tony, what
It's
do you
a
think
similar sort of fact to the last two cases. I mean, the wrongs act kicks in again. You've got to have more than 5% disability for pain and suffering.
What about the statute of limitations for 2008?
That's
Tony?
right. We don't know what date. We don't know what date it is in 2008. But if it, as you know, we've got
You
three years.
You can get extensions.
You can. But you've got 3 years in order to issue proceedings. So if she is out of time, she's got to get to see a lawyer straight away to get that extension.
Well, it's important.
Yeah, it's critical.
But you'd think that if she doesn't know the law and there's no prejudice on the shopping centre, you'd get an extension. I'm pretty confident that that wouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
It's not a massive delay.
But I suppose to her, you'd rather not go over if you can. So if she's still within 3 years, see a lawyer straight away.
Okay.
Well, look, the common theme here is the Wrongs Act, so, and it's very complicated, so you do need legal advice.
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, Joanne, we hope that's helped you. That's all the time that we have for questions this evening, but viewers, please keep writing in. Our email address is info@thepishow.com, and catch up on earlier episodes at www.thepishow.com. And thank you again for writing in, and thank you for having us.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Kathy.
viewers.
Thanks, Nunzio. Thanks, viewers. And stay tuned for next week, and stay safe.